What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin back with another comic book review for you guys today for Christmas month. Today we're reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Best Story Ever, which was published in 2015. It collects like 4 comics with material from like some older comics. You got like Guardians of the Galaxy Best Story Ever one shot. I think it's like one shot. Written by Tim Seeley with art by Riley Brown. You got Guardians of the Galaxy's Most Wanted, issue 1 by Will Corona Pilgrim with art by Andrea Devato. You have Guardians of the Galaxy Tomorrow's Avengers issue 1 by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Michael Avon Omin, Ming Doyle, Mike Del Mundo, and you have like the Free Comic Book Day 2014 Rocket Raccoon issue 1 by Joe Caramagna, Adam Archer, and you have issue 314 by Doug Moench with art by Keith Pollard. Logan's Run issue 6 by Scott Edelman with art by Mike Zeck, and material from Marvel Holiday Special issue 2 by Jim Starling with art by Ron Lim. That's like the only Christmas comic in this graphic novel, and it was only like 8 pages. So let's go over it. Go over the individual stories. So the first one by Tim Seeley, who you might know Tim Seeley from Hack Slash, right? Which is like oh man, Hack Slash used to be good back in the day, but now you try to read it and it's hot garbage. But yeah, it starts off with, I'm just gonna spoil this whole comic. So our main character, Peter Quill and Rocket Raccoon are in jail, right? And they're in jail because they're there to distract the guards by telling them a story about how, like, Thanos was on trial by the cosmic gods, and Nebula, sorry, is that her name? It's not Nebula. Is it Nebula? Yeah, Nebula. Yeah, I have a fucking HeroClix of her. I should know her name. Where is it? I have it somewhere. It's like let's not look for it right now, but and it's like the exact same costume too. Yeah, but yeah, Nebula has made up a team of like femme fatales. Chris, who's like from the Shi'ar Empire. Death Metal, which is is like a shape-changing cyborg, and Stellaris, who apparently has power armor able to slay a fucking Celestial. What bullshit is that? I'm supposed to leave power armor, like somebody can make a power armor capable of killing a Celestial. Keep in mind, Celestials are like giant fucking robots that are like gods, right? And you have the fight between the Guardians of the Galaxy versus this team, which doesn't matter because the whole story they're telling is fake bullshit for the rest of the team to go in and like steal a toilet because their toilet on their spaceship is trashed and they need a new one. They can't afford a new one, right? So hence why Rocket Raccoon and Peter Quill are in the prison to distract the guards by telling them a stupid story, while the rest of the team, like I said, steals a toilet. And you have this very anime-esque weeb art, right? So this was a stupid story, right? The action scenes were okay. Next in Tomorrow's Avengers, you have stories like oh, here she is. I was looking at her the entire time. Here's my Nebula HeroClix. Oh my god. And yeah, So yeah, you have the little vignettes about like little tiny like stories featuring each of the Guardians. You have the first one's about Drax and how he has like a repetition, like a killer rep that everybody wants to take him on, right? Because he's like the biggest badass in the biggest badass in the galaxy. And doesn't this fucking alien kind of look like one of the look like a Mortal Kombat character, right? I don't know. It looked like that to me. So yeah, the art was okay for that one. You have this story about this girl on a farm that's being bullied by local aliens, and she finds Groot, and Groot saves her and her family of farmers, right? From the aliens, right? You got this one of Rocket Raccoon, right? Who finds out there's another creature out there in the galaxy that's like him, right? Which is which is funny because that's something that's in the trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where there's like a talking otter, right? So yeah, he finds out that guy mentions something about him seeing like a creature just like him, and he gets killed right before Rocket can like ask him about it. So I'm guessing that's something from the Bendis run of the comics. Next, you have Gamora killing these Skrulls that look just like parademons, but scrawnier, because like they're enslaving a planet that Thanos has control of, and that's why she's on there, right? Next, you have a stupid story where, well, this story was kind of fun, where Rocket fights these like rabbits and this turtle on a spaceship, and this issue was kind of Star Wars-esque, where he goes, uh, where he's there to like rescue a princess and to collect the reward honor, right? And at the end of the story, you find out he wasn't collecting the reward for her from her father, but the reward for her by some like council of like galactic council, right? So he was gonna sell her out, but like changed his mind, right? So you have this story where like uh, Rocket and Groot are. This is from Galaxy Most Wanted, where Rocket and Groot are bounty hunting, right? And they get a zip reward, and they find out that Rocket has a reward on him, right? That's huge. Set by from another bounty hunter, and Rocket thinks that like Groot was betraying him when Groot was saving his ass. And this comic is just a standalone comic. Groot, um, Rocket confronts the bounty hunter who put the reward on him just because they were like taking jobs from him. So, which this story kind of makes no sense, because it's like, one, how don't you need to have like some kind of criminal record to be to have a fucking like bounty on you? Second, if this guy is losing money because Rocket and Groot are stealing jobs from him, how does he have the money to like put up a reward for them? Makes no fucking sense, right? So now we're at the end of we're getting close to the end of this graphic novel, right? Where we get stories from like comics from older, you know, for like older comics, right? Like I guess this one's from like the 70s, where you find out where this is a story about how like both Moondragon, Thor, and Drax are bored and feel purposeless, right? Drax, and you find out in this story that Drax used to be a human who was killed in a car crash by Thanos when Thanos was on Earth, right? And like one of the people from Titan, like from Thanos' homeworld, took his soul and put him in this body of this super powerful body to go out and kill Thanos, right? And you also find out that like Moondragon was the daughter of Art Spellman, which was Drax when he was human, and that like she was um, trained by the same people who created Drax as this like martial artist psychic, right? Who was supposed to be like Celestial Madonna, but was replaced by Mantis, right? Yeah, so this story was pretty good. It was like, it was like all three characters were bored, right? Looking for adventure, right? Where they stumble upon like Drax attacked hive mind of this uh, hive mind orb filled with like these parasites, right? And they warn Drax, hey, try to attack us and we'll destroy you. And like Drax is suicidal, so he attacks them, right? Only to have one of the jellyfish aliens try to sacrifice themselves for the collective, right? By attaching himself to like Drax. Moondragon was looking for her dad, so she finds him and takes him to Earth. Thor was bored and decided to go to the Avengers mansion, where Drax and Moondragon shows up, and Drax, in his delirious, like state, attacks everybody, right? And at the end of the comic book, they learn a lesson that hey, there is a purpose to life, because after they separate the alien parasite from Drax, the alien parasite's like, oh, kill me, I'm separated from my fellows and I have no purpose in life now, kill me. And like Drax and Moondragon takes the alien and like send him back home, right? Okay. The last two stories are Thanos is on a planet that he's trying to conquer, right? And he's trying to break the will of the people on the planet by destroying their sacred relic, which is the final flower on their planet. And Drax shows up to kill Thanos, right? But while they're battling, like pilgrims, which is a mother and daughter, show up. Thanos tries to kill them, and Drax gets like a flashback to his family, right? Rescues them, right? And while that's going on, Thanos crushes the flower, right? And Drax uh, is told by the pilgrims, hey, you should have let us die, and you should have saved the flower. And he's like, but I could not, right? So that was like a cool story. The last story is the Yule Memory, that's written by Jim Starlin with art by Ron Lim, where it's about basically Thanos is having his like robots go through his stuff, right, on one of his safe houses, basically trying to figure out if he has any like stuff in his like storage that could help him like conquer the universe or something. And the robots find this doll that Thanos gave to Gamora when she was a kid, right? And they celebrate when Thanos kind of tried to give Gamora like a normal childhood. So they celebrated Christmas when she was like 5 years old, and he gave her like a doll, a baby doll, right? And you have like this kind of sweet moment where Thanos is kind of like, trying to be kind of like a dad, right? And Thanos is like, Gamora's like, a Master Thanos. And he's like, yes, child. Can we go to the lagoon so we can watch the dolphins? And he's like, perhaps. So it turns out that assassin sneaks up on Thanos, right? Who's there because Thanos killed his family, right? Uh, who's getting M. Bison vibes from this? Oh my god. So, like, yeah. He's about to kill Thanos when Gamora throws the baby doll at him, right? And misses his shot. Thanos fires back and burns the doll, right? And Thanos, feeling bad that he partially wrecked Gamora's Christmas present, takes her to the lagoon to see the dolphins. And the comic book ends with Thanos, like, destroying the Christmas tree, destroying the doll, and it's like, oh, I don't have memory. I need to destroy, like, mementos because they make you weak or some shit. So that's the end of this. That's all the stories in this very thin graphic novel, which goes for like 15 US, 17 Canadian. I paid $5 for this at the dollar store. For $5, I guess it was worth it. But the only stories that were interesting in this book were the stories from like the 70s and like 80s comics, right? Well, I guess that the Ron Lim one I think was 90s because they reference Infinity Watch, right? But yeah, this comic book, I thought the stories were pretty dumb. Very much like this interpretation of the fucking Guardians is like a dumbed down, kid friendly version of the fucking movies, right? Which is so fucking dumb, man. It's so fucking dumb. But yeah, if that sounds good to you, then I guess I recommend it. But honestly, I don't recommend it. I only liked like the final stretch of this fucking comic book. Yeah, which like I reviewed this book because there was a Christmas story in here, so I thought maybe some of the stories in here would be Christmas related, and none of them were. Right, but yeah, like the Doug Moench comic was cool, and like the other stuff with Thanos was good, but like the rest of the comic book is average at best, so 5 out of 10. Our last comic book review for Christmas month is going to be DC Universe Christmas. I'm going to try to review this on Christmas Day.